most interesting show that we have on the internet right now. I go through a lot of channels when I get the chance, and I look for interesting topics. And really, Partha and myself are the only ones that have anything interesting going on. Hi, good morning. Can everybody hear me okay?
Good morning.
Yes, you can. All right. Checking my client, my YouTube client. And clients are the things that you see the program off of. So if you're looking on your phone, you have a either a YouTube app or a browser, and so that is your client. There's a server that transmits, and then it has to have something to receive, whether that's an app or a browser. Those are called clients in the computing world. And I am the chief breadcrumb. I am General Breadcrumb, and I say good morning to Angel, to Rhonda. Hello. Oh, Denver's has, what do they have? A big storm hit, and hurricanes coming to Louisiana. Rhonda, hope everybody's getting ready for it. Good morning, Molly. Good morning, Michelle. You had an interesting 2 days? Good. Please, can you tell us about it? I relaxed yesterday. I really wanted to come on and chat because there's so much things to talk about. But I really made a huge effort to relax yesterday. And, you know, the stuff we're studying is really very overwhelming. You know, we're talking end of times. Legit. You know, we're not having to have leaps of faith to see something is just really off. And you know, the sun and the moon are key indicators. Gosh, the moon, we had a full moon last night, and I had to get up around 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, the usual wake up things that you do 4 o'clock in the morning, you're thirsty. And so I was like, man, it's bright out there. And so I looked out my kitchen window. I was like, man, it's like a light is on. That's the moon. So I had to go to my balcony, and I looked at the moon, and it's just bright white and huge. It's not the moon that I know. And Partha and I both took very interesting photos of the sun yesterday, and independently came up with the same thing. I'm trying to download those photos. I didn't think about that. Hey, Epic, good morning. Good morning, Aquarius. Very interesting. Hi, Shu. It's been a while since we've seen you. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Alchemy. Yeah, Michelle, I remember you saying that that you had a blockage. All right. Let me download. All right, downloading some photos as I catch up with everybody in the chat. Partha is supposed to be joining us this morning. We had a talk, and yeah, he says going to join us. And oh, let me download these two also. I took pictures of the moon last night. Good. Go ahead and download those and unpack these. Sorry, I got to do this live, guys, but today's Sunday, so I gave the production crew, the director, technical support, all those guys, I gave them the evening off, so the day off is Sunday. So I did have a chance to think yesterday. That's one of the most important things that you can do, is process all of this information that we are getting. And one of the things that really came to me is in watching Wages World, and we'll probably cue that if we have time this morning, but this evening we'll definitely cue that up. But Wages World is making some startling observations about the sun, of course, um, and and one of the things he's noticed and said is that the sun is giving off a frequency that it hadn't given off before. You know, it does its little bumps, it does its little thing, but in the Schumann diagram, and we'll go into that, like I said, a little later. The sun is giving off one steady frequency, and has been for the last month. And there's another frequency starting to develop, a higher frequency starting to develop, and he pointed out the band on his analysis, and he's saying the sun is giving off frequencies, and that's one of the things that Partha and Angel talk about, is that going from third dimension to third density to fourth density, and even up to fifth density, it is a change in our frequencies. And that gave me a lot of comfort yesterday, because, you know, honestly, I've been looking at things as being a very intense and you know, end of world causing event that would generate the end times, and all of the eschatologies say no, it'll be troubling, there will be problems, there will be great signs in the sky and on the earth that the end of this time is coming, and it indicates a new time. And so the sun has a UFO by it. It's been generating incredible, unknown to Wages World activity, and there is a steady frequency being given off to not to, but off of the sun. So yeah, our frequencies are being raised, and all y'all are feeling it, and I'm feeling it as well. You know, but in a different sense than most of you feel it. Hi, Pilot. Oh, great. Welcome to the Breadcrumbs Project. Then you probably know the Fellowship of the Crumb, and so you are before the Fellowship of the Crumb. There's 24 of us. Yeah, Shu. All of us have been doing a lot of work on this stuff, and so you know, and one of the things that you really just have to do is process a lot of what you research. So you know, you can't just research on the fly and fill your head with research without processing it. And you have to take a break, a day or two, or an hour or two. You know, that's what I do after work, is go for a walk. And when I go for that walk, I am processing, you know, the morning talks, my classes, my meetings, and then, you know, coming in and having an evening discussion with y'all, and then try to process that after the meeting before I go to bed. And you know, it becomes a lot. So, you know, that's a great thing to do on a Sabbath, is you just disconnect from everything, and then you can process things much better. So and that's what I did, and I just am in a great area of comfort that the vibration of the planet is being raised. This is not going to be an earth-ending event in any way. Will there be, you know, earthquakes? Will there be some flooding? Will there be some storms? Yes, 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 yes. But all of that is designed to get our attention, and our attention is definitely being gotten. So let's take a look at some photos that I took yesterday. Let me move these guys over here. All right. So this I'm pulling up here is going to be the moon. Once it decides to pull itself up, you can do it. I'll do that. Let me go into the chat. Wow, Rhonda. Yeah, and Nemesis, she had iron oxide. Obviously, I can't. In her, why aren't you just open, please? In what she caught in rainwater. So there's definitely interesting things coming from the sun. Yeah, prayer, meditation, all of that's important, but I do not see an earth-ending event. I see the rays of frequencies, and I trust what our forefathers have told us. All right, so this was the moon last night. Yeah, and it had a halo. It had that halo effect going on. And it was just, look how bright it is. I mean, that's way brighter than a hunter's moon. And you know the hunter's moon is that bright, bright, bright moon. But this thing is glaring white. And you see the soft yellow glow of the lights of my town. And, you know, the lights off in the distance. But that sun, I mean, that moon is crazy. And here is... a close, yes, this is a picture that I took of the sun. And look at that blue ball right there. Partha took a picture from India, and he gets the same blue ball. There's another picture I took, and look at that blue ball. Actually, the one, this is Partha's. This is the picture Partha took. Okay, this is the picture Partha took. Here's the moon. Here's the picture I took. I took one picture. Here's a crazy bright sun. Nothing to do with that soft orange glow. And then here's the first picture I took and the second picture. So that blue object, we don't know what it is, but it's moving. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not what we call a photo flash or anything like that. It's because it moves, and Partha has a picture of it too, independently. Two moons together. Yeah, so all of the eschatologies told us the skies would send us the warnings to prepare. And we are preparing here. We are meditating. We are raising our own energy. The affirmations definitely affect us positively. So thank you for those, Angel. And we have some work to do. Yeah, Age, that's exactly what I'm saying. this picture of the moon is not supposed to be there. It's too big and too close to the Earth. That's not where the moon normally is at all, ever. It doesn't sit there on this town. It's a lot higher. I've been watching the moon for a year from my balcony, and its position is way off, its size is way off, and its brightness is way, way, way off. So yeah, I mean, the end times are happening. The the Great Awakening map gives us about 4 or 5 years for this to happen. Let's see if I can pull up my Q. Let's see. All right. So great solar flash, which thanks to the hard work that Wages World has produced. We're seeing the great solar flashes, and right here, we see from 2019 to 2023-24 that this will be happening. So it's not going to be a sudden thing. Our Creator never does anything suddenly. It is always a buildup, the boiling frog effect. And let's see.
There you go. Okay, guys, we're going to jump in here with the Schumann. We got, like I said, we got some CMEs and stuff to talk about in the Venus conjunction, and I do think that a lot of that's going on right now probably.
Yep, let's go ahead and take a look at what I'm talking about with Wages World.
Has a little bit of something to do with that. Certain planetary alignments at certain times of the year, or certain times even multiple years apart from each other, they can instigate the sun to do certain things. They don't always have to. It's not a set in stone, event type of thing, but they definitely add to the possibility of the sun doing what it does, and at a greater level. And we've seen that the past few weeks. I don't want to blame all of it on that planetary conjunction, because I don't think it was. We got our object and stuff rolling around out there every 28 days. We got all kinds of other things that can, really perturb the sun. And so that's what we're looking at. And we need to understand that, sometimes most of the time, things are to be expected, just to be honest. Okay, we all knew that this alignment was coming, but very few people were talking about, except for people like me, and I think Scott might have mentioned it, and a few others, that, hey, when we get these planetary alignments, the sun sometimes acts up. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Anywhere close in the next few days, we started seeing some increased activity from those sunspots, on the eastern limb of the sun, off the side, for like 2 weeks ago. And we've been talking about that here. And as it got more and more close and close and close and close to the direct alignment, we've seen an increase in activity. I mean, a consistent increase into where we had those M-class flares, all that stuff. Now, all that stuff can happen outside of planetary conjunctions and stuff, planetary alignments. We know that, right? But, when we're dead quiet, like in our minimum, like I'm talking like dead quiet, and then all of a sudden, bam, it's balls out. We're running for the finish line. You know what I mean? You got to wonder what actually caused
Guys, I don't know how many of y'all speak Southern, but the term balls out means you are moving with all haste. Just wanted to clarify that. I know maybe in Africa they don't use that term, Michelle. I'm sure in Great Britain you've not heard the term balls out. Bollocks maybe, but balls out is nothing you're familiar with. So I speak Southern. I'll translate it for you as things go along. But this is fascinating what Wages is saying. That for the past 3 weeks, the sun has been behaving in ways that he has not yet ever seen. And he's about to go into the frequency, so bear with me, guys. Hi, K8. Good morning, Captain. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Epic let us know that the English version of balls out is going like shit off a shovel. Shit off a shovel. Okay? All right.
All that to just, you know, jump off like that. And I do think that, you know, our object was on that side of the sun with Venus, and Mercury was actually over there too, but not in alignment. But guys, I mean, all that stuff was over there.
Also, please note he's talking about the object. When he says the object, that is the UFO that he's been talking about for the last several weeks, that he's shocked by. But at least he's talking about it and not ignoring it.
And when those magnetic connections are being crossed and such, they can cause problems. So, you know, that's kind of what that's kind of what I'm thinking is going on. We may slow down once once Venus moves back on over, and we're orbiting, you know, away from them and away from it, and it's orbiting away from us, and those direct straight lines to the sun, you know, those go away. But that, I do think that has a lot to do with it. So anyway, we're gonna jump here into Schumann. So this isn't anything that we haven't been seeing, guys. I hate to say it like that, but I think this is becoming our new normal, and more so every day am I believing that. And there are certain things in here I'm going to talk about real quick, but you know, here's a consistent spike. This is what I would call, I guess, quote unquote, a normal type of spike. You got the increased intensity here, right? And there is no pulsation. It's just a solid color. But then you go over here to this one and look. Okay, it's all choppy. It's all broke up. So, you know, where this is blue and stuff, that intense frequency stopped. It stopped for that length of time. And, you know, it's like chatter marks almost is what I call them. You know, pulses, waves, whatever, however you want to say it. I'm not sure I would call these waves. And the reason why is because they don't ramp up or ramp down like a wave does. This is like on, off, on, off. And I've been talking about that for over a year. We've been seeing spikes like that for over a year. I mean, like long ones. Long. Duration ones that would start and then bam, go right back off. Now, you know, as you get up in these higher frequencies.
Sorry, guys. So that you don't get feedback, I turn my mic off. Thanks for letting me know, guys. Thanks, Age. What I was saying was, nothing in nature um, does on and off. Uh, Only a switch can do an on and off process. So there's nothing in the sun and how it functions that it can be doing this. And we're gonna see more and more of this on and off um, uh, activity. And that's binary. That's a form of binary, which is a form of communication, which is packets are broken up. Whatever's being transmitted is being sent in packet form.
And stuff, they do taper in and taper out. But that just that straight line, no taper off at the bottom there. Like let's do this. Like right here. If you guys look right there, you can see even all the way to the bottom that was just a straight line shut off. That was not a taper down. Okay? That's more of a taper down. You see how it's not just direct, straight, hard line? It's kind of wavy a little bit. And it even kind of goes back the other way. So that's what I'm saying. It's not, that right there, in my opinion, is more of a natural type of spike. I think that these other ones are unnatural. They're being caused by something or something intelligent is having an effect on this.
Boom. And there he says it. This is a guy that doesn't want to believe what he's saying. I've been watching the videos. I mean, he's not a UFO guy. And he's not into any of the conspiracy or anything at all. He's not, as far as we can tell, part of the Q, into the Q, or what the Q is talking about. But what he is seeing is what any engineer, and he has an engineer's brain and has an engineer's deductive process, and the activity he's seeing from the sun is not natural. Something is creating that. Yay, Molly. Hi, welcome back to the Breadcrumbs Project. So we're getting independent verification of our observations. Also, Epic and I agree that the palace has not been evacuated. There's independent verification and reporting that Buckingham Palace is undergoing renovations, and then an independent commentator in a group that was discussing what was going on at the palace said that the reason that that one of the symbols of the Queen, one of the shields that was off of the gate, was knocked down by one of the delivery trucks bringing in materials for the renovation project. So I feel very comfortable. You can feel however you want about it, but I feel pretty comfortable that Buckingham Palace is undergoing renovations and is nothing more than that. So on with the show of again, this Wage does not buy into UFO thingies like the way we do, the way we've studied. But he's just saying, look, what I am seeing here is not natural. I've been studying this, and I know I have a baseline of what is natural, and all this activity, from an engineering point of view, is not natural activity.
So, and I think most people are agreeing with that. Now, something else. I was talking to Mike and Cindy at Evolutionary Energy Arts the other day, and I had mentioned to them in a text that, I feel like I've been like set back to factory default. Now, let me explain. When I was a kid, I could walk into a department store like Kmart, and no, I'm aging myself by saying this, but who cares? But I could walk in the front door, and I could tell you whether or not the TVs and the electronics were running in the back of the store, just from walking in the front door. Not even I'm talking like all the way on the other side of the store. And what it was is I could actually hear the hum and the frequency of the TV, or any electronics for that matter, not voices and stuff, like the TVs would be on mute or what have you, but I could still hear the electronics themselves running, and not a whole lot of people could. Okay, and there were a few, but I thought and this is like when I was like 10, 11 years old. I played a lot of video games when I was a kid. I still play video games every once in a while, not like I used to, but I started testing myself. And my parents actually started testing me because I'd walk in the store with them and be like, "You guys hear that?" You know, even as a kid, and I didn't push it because I didn't know what it was. They're like, "Hear what? What are you talking about?" And they thought, I was being crazy. I'm like, well, I'm hearing that. I said, and it gets stronger as I get closer to the electronics department. And so they started testing me. And so when I would walk in the door, they would ask me, are the TVs on or are they off? And I'm telling you guys, every time I was correct, 100% of the time. And my parents just couldn't believe it. Now, as I got older, I kind of quit hearing that. And I just kind of chalked it up to getting older. Hearing getting worse. And I actually kind of forgot about it. Now, a couple weeks ago, I walked into a Walmart and I heard that again. Now, it might be just because I'm becoming more aware of the Schumann here. And, I've always been sensitive to this stuff anyway. So, but now my focus is a little more here than what it was before. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But I did hear it. And I thought, man, I haven't heard that for like 30 years. So anyway, the following week, I took my son with me. And I said, listen, when we walk in here, and I said, this is going to sound crazy to you, but I'm going to tell you whether or not the TVs are on in the back. And he's like, okay, whatever. He didn't really understand why, but it is what it is. So I walked in there, and I looked at him, I said, hey, the TVs are off. I said, I didn't hear it. I didn't hear the frequency. And, obviously I thought, well, maybe I'm wrong. Because, guys, listen, when's the last time you walked into a Walmart or a department store, for that matter, and the TVs weren't on? Can you guys remember a time? I don't think you probably could, because it doesn't happen. I mean, they always have that stuff running because they're trying to sell their product.
And what's happening here is Wage is trying to make sense of what he is seeing, his own life experience, and going through that processing, like I talked about, like I did yesterday. As an engineer, you have observations, and you have to draw some conclusions or ignore those observations. We can't help it. If we make an observation, we can't make the proper conclusion. Well, we get curious, and so we just study it. We study it. We study it some more. And so Wage is trying to process these things that he's seeing and experiencing, and put it somewhere in his life, and it's kind of like, the process of growing up almost. And so many of us in this room right now have had to get caught up on what's going, because we're just not aware of so many things. And like Wage points out, he is attuned so that he can pick up those frequencies. Very few other people are. Michelle, hi Torchky. Oh, yeah, I was reading what happened to your pup, man. I am so sorry. That is so insane, man. Hi, Gina dear. There you go, Michelle. That's why you're having the headaches. That's why you're having all the reactions that you're having, is because you're feeling that frequency. So you're so attuned to these things, where I'm not. I understand the frequency is having an effect on me, and I've noticed that effect. But beyond that, this is going to be a very light touch event, and it's going to be going on for a long time. Some people it's going to affect positively, some people aren't going to feel it yet, and then others are going to be affected by it negatively, which is something that has been written in the eschatologies of time immemorial. Yeah, and animals are very attuned to the frequencies. Very attuned. Cats especially, but dogs too. Yeah, I like animals more than people. All right, let's keep going on with Wage, because this is going to be happening to a lot of people, and that's why it's so good to have this group. to talk about these things. And yeah, who was it? Pilot. I don't know if you're still in the room, but Pilot did make the observation that, wow, COVID affects social conservatives, and is a horrible pandemic for them. But social anarchists, for whatever wonderful reason, this horrible pandemic does not affect them. Who knew?
And sure enough, we walked to the back, and them TVs were off, guys. I couldn't even believe it. I mean, I was like, what? And so I know that I'm hearing that again, is what I'm trying to say. And what does it mean anything? All it means to me is that now I'm aware of it. And now that, maybe the frequency is increasing, and we can provably show you that with this tool right here. You can see this is our new norm. It's not going to go back the other way, guys. This is going to continue to increase, and it's going to keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And wherever it stops is where it stops, but it's not going to stop anytime soon. So, like I said all that just to let you guys know that if you guys are feeling the same kinds of stuff, you're not alone. All right? Don't think you're crazy, because you're not. There's people here that will talk to you about this kind of stuff.
All right. I have to, we have to, our friend Spartan, who was greatly affected by these energy events, he's very, very sensitive to these things, was having problems processing what's happening, and problems communicating to his family and to those around him. And to us, especially Angela, Partha, and myself, Spartan sounds very reasonable, and he's experiencing this more than anybody else. He has certain great talents, certain great communications, but in his home and people around him are thinking he's having a mental break. And so yesterday he ran out of money and understanding, and he was taken into custody for mental evaluation. And the things he's going to tell these people, actually, it's going to be a very interesting thing. Actually, I think if they don't over medicate him, he's going to make them think. He's going to ask the questions we've been asking. Well, does the sun look normal to you? Does the moon look normal to you, doctor, nurse, whoever you are? Because not many of y'all have had a chance to talk to Spartan, but he is so charming, and he's very reasoned and reasonable what he's saying. He's not a rah for what he is saying. He's just saying, look, these are my observations, and we've made observations as a group that no one can deny, and I bet you he's going to do that wherever he is, and he's going to throw confusion into the people working with him, because he's got to go outside. They can't keep him inside all the time. He's not a danger. He's sweet and charming. All he does is talk. So, but yeah, let's all pray for our dear fellow of the crumb, Spartan. He has not lost his fellowship, that's for sure. He's a loved and treasured entity amongst this group, but there's nothing that any of us could do in that situation. I tried to get him to go to either a Tibetan temple or an Indian temple in London, so he could at least speak to monks there, and they can't deny, like Partha and Angel and I, his process and reasoning, and they would probably be able to give him shelter and understanding, but he is left to the ways of the West, and I think he's going to make him think. So do meditate, send positive energy and healing energy to our dear friend and fellow of the crumb, Spartan, and and keep him in your thoughts. But again, this is Wage is redneck Southern like me, and he can't deny his observation. That's one thing about great about Southern is, yeah, you can be a skeptic, but once somebody proves you, well, you're on board. And so let's just keep going through his analysis. And his big analysis is the sun. This is the new norm. It's not going backwards. It's advancing. So the sun has reached a certain frequency, and it's staying there, and now it's opening up another frequency, and that's what Wage is about to go into.
If you don't want to talk here in my comment section or email me, you can contact, go over and watch Mike and Cindy at Evolutionary Energy Arts. You can go over to, excuse me, Higher Realm Holistics. Go check her out. She does a really good job, explaining this too. So, listen, there's a lot of places to go. So just don't think that you're crazy. That's what I'm trying to say. Just take some comfort in the fact that other people are experiencing this too. And you're not alone. You're just not. So that's what I would say to that. Now, there's one more thing here I want to talk about, and that's this line, this code, right? I call it a code. May or may not be. Don't know. But it's that dash line that we've been talking about for a very long time here on my channel and others. But now, a data point on here, guys, is vertical. So when it plots a point, it plots it vertically like that. So with that being said, in order to get a dash line, you have to have that same frequency hit multiple times in a row over a period of time. That's like an hour or two right there. That same frequency stayed there at that intensity for 2 hours. I think 2 hours. Let's go down here and look. Well, about an hour, I guess. Yeah, it was about an hour. So that's what it takes to get a horizontal line like that. But now, and we've seen this before, but not to this extent. Now we're seeing it in the vertical signatures. Okay, look at that. Okay, that line's broken up. And what that means is that single data point is missing that frequency right there. It's not as intense in that spot. So that's why it looks dashed. So I'm telling you guys all this because this doesn't seem natural to me. That has to be something that's being done unnaturally. Now, whether we're doing something here on our planet, this could be a side effect of it, don't know. Or it could be somebody intentionally trying to do this. It could be something from outside our own world causing all this. Who knows? But I did want to bring that to you guys' attention because that is something that we haven't talked about a whole lot. Is now we're starting to see it not only vertically, but horizontally. So, I mean, it's all there at the same time. So you have to wonder, is something really, or is communication trying to happen here? Or what's going on? Or is it just simply a side effect of something that we're doing? Who knows? But, I do think it deserves some discussion. So that's why I'm talking about it. Okay, guys, I got you over here at spaceweather.com. And guys, again, these guys do a good job. Go check them out, please. But, we're not going to talk about this penumbral lunar eclipse right now. I want to talk about this other stuff because this video is going to be long.
All right, so he's going into a whole other set of observations, which, this is time-consuming. But this is the most important thing happening in the world right now. I'm sorry. This is the most important. When you have your son, not your child, but when you have the sun behaving in such peculiar ways, and the sun doesn't look like it's supposed to, and the moon doesn't look like it's supposed to, and they're not in the places that they're supposed to be, and then you have that little blue dot by the sun, man, again, if it walks like a duck, and if it quacks like a duck, and it has feathers like a duck, and if it has webbed feet like a duck, and a nice bill like a duck, well, heck, it's probably, and it quacks like a duck too? Yeah, it's a duck. So we have a UFO next to the sun, and it's generating CMEs, and also we can go ahead and assume that it's increasing the frequency of the planet as well. So incredible stuff happening. So he's going to go into looking at the sun itself and looking at the ejections, so you can have a feel for this.
Long enough as it is, but the inferior conjunction of Venus happened yesterday. Okay, and to let you know what that is basically Venus it passed really close to the sun. And, from our viewpoint, from our perspective over here where we're at. Okay. Um, Again, the astronomers, they call that inferior conjunction. So that's where the name comes from. Now, when they're viewing this thing, guys, they have to actually take all the stuff on their telescopes and stuff that could possibly catch fire. They have to take it away. That's how close they're looking at the sun. It's like a magnifying glass, guys. As a kid, I'm not sure if anybody ever did this. You go outside with a magnifying glass or even a pop bottle or whatever, and you focus that light on the ground, you can catch stuff on fire or even like roast ants, like I used to do when I was a kid. But yeah, that's why they do that, because it's really dangerous for people that don't know what they're doing to do this, to try to view this. Now you can see what it does. See how it's backlit? That means that Venus is in front of the sun there. It's backlit. The sun's backlighting Venus, and that's what you're seeing there. It's really cool. It's cool stuff that's going on. But here's the progression. Most of us have seen stuff like this with lunar eclipses and stuff like that. This is probably what it's going to remind a lot of people of. But that's not what this was. This was the inferior conjunction of Venus. It got really close to the sun from our viewpoint. Okay, and so yeah, I just thought that was really cool. Now that goes right back into what we were saying, because we're in alignment and all that. I do think that it's causing some stuff, and I'll show you here in a minute. And this is one of them. Okay, check this out. We now have a sunspot, and it came out of a place that nobody thought it was a couple days ago. We started talking about this one particular sunspot a few days ago, but obviously you can't designate it as a sunspot until we can see it. And that's what it now has a number. It's an official sunspot. What that did was it broke our days without a sunspot streak. And I think it was up to 30 or 40 or something like that. I can't remember. But as you can see, just with 1 or 2 days there of having that sunspot here, it's already dropped the percentage back down to 78. So I do look for the end of this year for that number to be lower than this first one, than last year, 2019. I do think that trend will continue. I think we're going to start seeing more and more sunspots. If this thing survives, it'll be in front of us for, a week. Okay? So that's 7 days right there, if it survives. Sometimes it's a phenomenon that when it gets the Earth facing, a lot of times these things they'll peter out. They get weaker, and it's something that they know happens. And I'm not really sure the science behind it, but I have heard a lot of people talk about that, and I've read a few papers and stuff on it, and that is something that's real. When stuff gets closer to Earth facing, sometimes these things just peter out. So, but that is an official sunspot. Now, I guess we could go look at that sunspot if you want to. Let's see if I can't zoom in here. It says, what's the sunspot number? There's a number for it. We're not going to look at that right now. Maybe I can just click on this picture. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there it is. Okay, now you can see what's underneath it. That is what they look for. Okay, they're looking for, usually when you see these, they're like blues and reds and yellows and stuff. And they, you got different polarity. You got to have a positive and a negative, and obviously.
All right, guys, I'm stopping now because Partha is going to be joining us. So I will put a link. No, look, I'm not going to put a link. You got to go to Wages World. You've got to go to Wages World and start watching his videos. For the last 4 videos, last 5 videos, actually for the last 2 weeks, if you really want to get up on the science of what is happening and what he is seeing. So, Wages World in YouTube, WAGES space WORLD. So, we know what's happening, we see what's happening, we have a lot of work to do, a lot of analysis to do, but man, we are on target. And so, Parth is going to be joining us here shortly and momentarily. Let's see. incredible, guys. It's very incredible. I don't see many YouTube channels talking about the stuff that we're talking about and then doing the analysis level. It is the end of time. It's the end of the fourth age. Uh, Wages World and the sound is low. Ugh. All right, here's Partha. Hi, Partha.
Hi, Charles.
How are
Good
you?
morning to you.
Good morning to you. Let me bring
I'm
you
doing
up.
good, Charles.
All right, everybody can see you now. There we go.
Yes, keep checking whether sound is fine. Your sound, my sound.
Yes, I think we're fine. Guys, can you hear me now?
Yeah, please confirm because I notice sometimes that you keep talking and then actually for 10 minutes there is no sound.
Yeah, yeah. I have to get a new headset, and I'm going to the store tomorrow. I didn't go shopping yesterday. I have to get a new headset and redo
Yeah, I know. Yes, it's
my
difficult
sound.
to concentrate on chat as well as talk.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But as you know, our chat group, I keep checking in there, and Captain Realist and Andrew.
yeah, they throw in flowers and whatnot at us
Yeah, they do.
to that we are on mute or we are not audible.
Well, I can tell you that the Dutchman, Captain Realist, who lets us get away with
Hmm.
nothing, is saying sound is great, and he did it in all caps, so he means it.
Oh, that's great then.
Well, welcome. Good morning. We were just going over the great work that Wages World has been doing on the
Yes,
sun
yes.
activity, and he has confirmed two things: that the
Hmm.
sun is emitting a frequency, a constant frequency
Hmm.
now that he has never seen in his several years of sun analysis, and
Obviously.
then he said a second frequency is opening up. So, and it's a
Hmm.
higher frequency. So, as it says in the Q map, this is not going to be a sudden event. This is going to be over the next 5 years, a raising of the frequency. Some people are going to enjoy it. Some people they're going to suffer. And we see that clearly, and that's been described in all the eschatologies. But
Yes.
he's also seen something else, and that is
Hmm.
binary happening. So
Okay.
there is certain signaling in a horizontal line and on the vertical, which is impossible. The sun doesn't go on and off in a steady rhythm at all. That's just not what the sun can do. And at a certain frequency, it was astounding. The sun was sending off signals for an hour, stop, for an hour, send for an hour, stop for an hour, send for an hour, and this was going on for at least 10 hours. And
So did he
had
say anything about China going dark 2 weeks back when we heard the sound China went dark on the same day for 10 minutes?
Did he say anything about that?
Yeah. Did he say
No,
anything about that?
no, he doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't follow that stuff. He's on his own wonderful, perfect path, and that's why I don't invite him on the channel. I don't want to influence what he is seeing
Sure.
or saying, because then
Okay.
that introduces confirmation bias. But
Okay.
he is an American Southern country boy that is a skeptic,
Hmm.
and what he is seeing is, he says clearly, is not natural at all. No way. So something is making the sun do these things, cause the on and off, and generating that
Okay.
frequency, and then that frequency wave. And then we've seen the object, which looks like a globe with wings, uh,
Hmm.
by the sun, causing those pulsations.
Okay. So that's his observation. Yeah, because he's going purely by science. I understand.
Yeah, yeah. He and he has to, and we have to use science as well, and because we have our own observations, and thankfully astrology blends in and provides a lot of information, and then faith for each each subset of humanity explains the past that we can start so that we can understand the future with our own pragmatism. So, but the West is completely lost. Uh, um, Asian religions are comfortable with what's happening. Um, Tibetan religions, and I'm using the word religion terribly. I hate that word now because of what political correctness has done to it. But the Indus Valley and the Tibetan religion are right over and comfortably able to have predicted what we're seeing.
Okay.
So take it from there, Partha.
Yes.
My coconut's already full.
Yeah. So you can chill and relax for the next 1 hour, 1.5 hours. We can take a break between also while I talk. You can interrupt me anytime whenever you have any queries.
All right.
So we can do that, and you can take a small break in terms of like taking a deep breath.
I just turned. Hold on a second. I'm clicking away, trying to create bandwidth. Yes, I do need to take a little bit of a breath. And I don't know if you saw the photos that I showed of the moon, but I also showed photos of the sun that you and I took independently.
Yes.
And you have the same blue orb that I have. So we saw that incredible thing together. All right, I'm gonna leave that open. Leave this open. Leave this open. And I have to go to work in a half hour, so I will be dropping off of the call while you're talking. But you'll have this will be your platform after I drop off.
Sure, Charles. Please allow me to record and also make me the host.
I am doing that as we speak. I almost closed us. All right, recording. You're up, and you are going to be the host. Where are you? There you are. You are now the host of the Partha Show. Let me move one thing over. So I have control of the stream, and then you can have this entire screen to yourself. All right, guys. So everybody can see that we are honest in what we're doing, getting all the back end work. And then here you are, Partha. All right, there you go. The screen is all yours. That was about 30 clicks to get there.
Yeah, at least you can use Zoom to stream. I can't do that. Actually, I use Zoom only to record videos.
Wow.
So I would like the viewers to confirm if they are able to still hear me properly, whether I'm audible or not.
All right, guys, I am looking at the chat stream right now. So visually and audibly, how do we hear and see, and how do we look? Marie says, yes, we can hear. Mallow Man, hi.
Thank you.
And Captain Realist, everybody says yes, yes, yes. They can see and sound good.
Okay, so far so good. Thank you. So I will start a recording, and also I will start sharing my screen. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Okay, so there are still many phenomena which happens on this realm. So I will talk bit about realms. Because ancient texts, whether they are Buddhist texts or Indian Hindu texts, or whether it is even Bible, or whether it is Hebrew texts, they don't talk about multiple solar systems. They actually say multiple dimensions or universes. They don't actually say different solar systems or super earths, super moons, those things. So today I will be little on the ancient side. Of course, I have always been on the ancient side, but my focus today will be on showing up a lot of hidden things. I will show them up for our people. So what I will do is I'll stop my video so that the stream is better.
All right.
Okay, so that everybody can see the screens. So I will definitely come to crop circle. A lot of people who are in chat, I think, are from UK. They can relate to this. People say that nearly half of the crop circles in UK were located to what is this Avebury stone circles, and they are usually made within a day. Usually they appear like uh, tonight, and then they next day they appear. So why do these things happen? And nobody actually has gone very deep into crop circles, like how they are made, why they are made within one day, or why these signs. Sometimes they show zodiac signs, sometimes they show a lot of things. How is it even possible? I mean, something to make this these crop circles, which is something which is so obvious in your face kind of reality, isn't it? So people even don't even talk about these things. So what I generally try to do is I take the Mercury path or the Hermes path or the path of thought. My path is trying to merge the heavens with the earth. So my path, the path of astrology, ancient astrology, is that I try to explain things which are real, which are physical, which are manifested, which appear in front of your eyes, so that at least you can make sense of it. At least you try to understand why these things are happening. So before that, let me go back to the realms concept. So let me open that. So just give me a second. So this is going to be slightly longish session. People can bring their tea, or they can bring water, coffee, whatever.
You've been warned. Get ready, guys.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So as per the realms concept of the universe, okay, so there are different dimensions. Okay, there are different heavens. So basically the ancient texts like Bhagavad Purana or Vishnu Purana, the Indian texts, they talk about 14 realms, meaning the earth or the Midgard is in the center. There are 7 subterranean worlds, and then there are 7 heavenly realms. Okay, and see, the most bottommost realm, also known as Patala, for example, is more beautiful than heaven. Patala is described with splendid jewels, beautiful groves, lakes, lovely demon maidens, sweet fragrance in the air, fused with sweet music. The soil here is white, black, purple, sandy, yellow, stony, and also gold. So this actually is talking about Patala. Patala means the 14th most bottom realm. So there are basically the heavenly realms, then the earth or the Midgard, and then there are bottom realms. They are known as Atala, Vitala, okay, then Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. Why the word Tala is used is Tala means waters. So as per Bible, it is mentioned that the God created the earth, there is waters above, waters below. So today I'm trying to present to you a hypothesis. For me it is a confirmed theory, but still I like to keep it open, as you also say in your channel, that please do your own research and please try to trust your eyes more, trust your gut instinct more. So this is something which is ingrained in my mind already. So I believe I have read about these things 3-4 years back, and I believe that we are in a realm, okay, and this realm is Patala. We are in the bottommost realm, and this realm is ruled by the snakes. Not only this realm, the realm which is slightly above, okay, their eternal force. So Rasatala, just which is just above us, like our sky has portals, and through the portals you can go to Rasatala, and they live in holes like serpents. So even that realm has serpents. Then Mahatala also has serpents. They're children of Kadru. Okay, Kadru is one of the four wives, of the original creator. So the creator Brahma created many creators, Prajapatis. They are called Prajapatis.
Let me
I spoke of.
let me ask you a question real quick about this. In one of our presentations before, you made the beautiful association of the snakes to electricity and
Yes.
in
Yes.
plasma.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So snakes are again divided into various groups. So there are white snakes, there are sky snakes, there are ground snakes. So I have a website for that. I have it open. I'll show it little later. But basically, I want viewers to understand that at least these lower realms, they are all controlled by snakes. Okay, this world is made by snakes. That is why there are a lot of artificial things. There are certain things in the sky which are real, certain things in the sky which are not real, which we need to understand. Okay, and this feud goes way long back.
Very, very, very incredible.
I was just telling my son to have a earphone plugged in because he is making a lot of noise. Yeah. I just told him to have earphones.
It's what sons
Because
do.
he's hearing
They
some
make
music
noise.
that is disturbing. Yeah, he's making some noise as if there is some party going on. Yeah, he's apologizing. So yeah, Shiva. Okay, it's okay. You just please put in your earphones and let me do my video. Okay. Yeah. So these are the lowermost realms, and as I already told in my previous video, Charles, I was telling you about Atlas or Ananta, the thousand hooded serpent, who is like one of the Norse gods who controls the entire world. So basically, serpents are everywhere. Now if David Icke says the Queen of England is a serpent, or serpent is inhabiting her body, he may or may not be right, but at the same time, one part of his theory is correct, is that this realm, Patala, where we live, definitely it is controlled by serpents. Now all the ancient, I can show you all the ancient diagrams. So let me open those. So this is the astrology part, which I'll come slightly later. There is something very interesting which I'll show people, that all the presidents bar one is directly descended from a medieval English king. So that also I'll tell. So now this is all the ancient pharaohs of Egypt. As you can see, they're all wearing what? They're wearing crowns with serpents. You can clearly see this. Why serpents? Why?
We don't see that. I see. There we go. Okay, we see them now. Okay, there they are. Yes. Why serpents?
Full of serpents.
I mean, throughout history.
These are the ancient. Yes. This is engraved. It is there right in your face. So there's nothing, whenever I show something, I show direct proof. There is no such thing as like, I'm not making up stories.
No.
So that people can clearly see this. Okay. So this is Egypt.
Vulture and a snake. Okay.
Yes. Snakes. And also recently we had in this movie Aladdin. So the Vizier in the Aladdin movie, he's holding this stick. It's called the sorcerer stick. Jafar. His name is Jafar.
Yeah. And
now this stick, sorcerer stick, is it's an allegory to this world which is controlled by the serpents. They are fantastic at casting illusions. They are fantastic at, make believe. Okay, so for all you know, I mean, see, again, I don't want to be judgmental or anything like that. I'm just informing viewers that for all you know, the stars could be artificial lights. They may not be the real stars. The sun also, there are multiple suns. So for example, I will just show you my PowerPoint. Yesterday I shared that pic with
Charles.
Charles. So
I have the
yes.
same thing happen all the time. And
So please confirm if you.
while you're saying that, also remember back in the story of Moses, that that when they were having the first confrontation with Moses and Pharaoh, that the Pharaoh's magician priest threw down his serpent stick and it turned into a real snake. And then
It is there. Yeah,
then,
true. It's there in this Michael Jackson song and Katy Perry songs. Yeah.
So all right, yes, we can see your PowerPoint perfectly, and there's the
Yes.
blue. There's the other blue dot again.
Yes. So it's so funny, Charles, that when I went to Vegas last year, I was doing pretty much nothing. I was standing in the booth, doing this marketing thing. And the last day only I could get some time to take some pics. So I took some pics of Vegas, that what you call a strip. So if you have been to Vegas, you know that the main city is in that strip of 5 kilometer stretch. So I took photographs of the zoo and of the famous hotels and all that. And I don't know why I took this pic, but I took this pic of the sun. And funnily enough, yesterday, when I just was casually looking at the photo, I saw that yellow dot.
Wow.
I have circled it. And I don't know why, I didn't notice it, maybe because of the glare. The sun which is in the front, it is having huge glare and it is so huge and bright.
Yes.
Where there is this another yellow or orangish dot in the background, that is the real sun.
Yes.
Now, what is happening during the end days is when the sun is moving northward and when the light is coming from the upper realms, the higher realms to our realm, because we are in the bottommost part of the ocean. What is happening is we are seeing these things more and more clearly. We are seeing the multiple layers of the atmosphere. The magnetosphere is weakening. So we are seeing multiple things. That is why we are able to see probably the real sun and not the artificial sun. So that's why, there are news like, China is creating the artificial sun.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go to the internet. I will just show you that. Before that, I will just show you the Kala Chakra or Samsara wheel once, and then I'll go to the internet. So as per the Samsara wheel, I was showing it the other day, here Harry, New Moon, and Prince Harry, and this is Meghan Markle and all. I was showing you the other day, right?
Yep.
So the western direction, okay, the western direction is ruled by Varuna. Varuna was actually the original god of the heavens. So the story goes like this. What happened was he was ruling the heavens, and all the serpents, gods, Rahu, and all the gods and titans, everybody lived happily together. But what happened was one time there was a huge one of the asuras or one of the dragons.
Mm-hmm.
He took all the waters inside him, and there was no adequate rain for the mankind. So it is something like this Zeus story where sometimes there is a drought on the earth and Zeus has to intervene. So what happened in that story was, so this Indra or Zeus, he was not the original king. It was Varuna or Poseidon. What you call as Poseidon in Greek mythology is Varuna in Indian mythology. So he was the original god, but he was also a serpent god or a dragon god. Very powerful. So what happened was, there was not enough water on the earth, and the earth dried up. Then Zeus went up to Varuna or Poseidon and said, you know what, it is not raining, so let me do something. Then Varuna said, why are you worried? Anyway, the clouds are forming, so it will rain. You just have to wait. But Indra said, or Zeus said, no, we have to do something. humanity. And what he did was he took his thunderbolt and he created the rainfall. All the people, all the humans on the earth, they praised Zeus. And then Zeus took this as an opportunity, and he told the other gods, look, this Varuna, he did not do anything, but it was me who actually intervened at the right time, so I should be the king of gods. And then what happened? Varuna was cast away from the heaven. He was cast down. So he was the first fallen angel. And after him, the other serpents and all were also pushed out from the heavens. So slowly they came to the earth. So they inhabited the earth for some time, the real earth, I mean, the Midgard. And then what happened was slowly they were pushed out from there also. So what they did, they created something called as alt paradise. So alternate paradise. So this is as per the mythology. All the dragons, serpents, they created this subterranean, they started ruling over the subterranean worlds, which are actually all underwater. So it may be quite distressing or shocking for some people to even think about it, but it is there. I mean, I've told about Westworld. I have given proofs in many Hollywood movies, the dream layers and all that. They're publicly informing you that you are actually living in one of the subterranean worlds. In fact, the Aquaman movie, which came 2 years back, they were telling the same thing in an indirect way, that the people are rising to the surface level and all that. So basically, it is a indirect hint to the souls that we have to go to the real Midgard, because we are here for a specific purpose. So this Varuna, he fell down, and along with him all the serpent gods and all the other cousins, they also fell down. They came down to this lower realms or the lower density. And see, this direction is ruled by these signs, Libra and Scorpio. So I made a couple of small English videos yesterday on my channel. People can refer to that. So I call this world, especially where we live, as the Scorpionic world. It is the West world. We are in the West world. We are not in the East world. We are not in the Up world. We are actually in the West world. And this West world is ruled by Varuna, god of oceans. He is also a dragon or a serpent. And apart from him, as you can see, the animal is Sarpa. Sarpa means serpent or snake. Mm-hmm. And bull is the animal for this. So that is why a lot of bull symbology, the Taurus fields, these are there in the entertainment or in Torah-tainment. So I was telling you last time, Charles, if you remember, Torah or Taurus fields, cut open apple, Adam's apple, Adam and Eve ate the apple. Apple actually, it looks like a Taurus field. So I will go back to internet and I will show you that. So okay. I hope now, there is some basis, some understanding of the samsara wheel where we are. So we are in the West world and we are in the world of Taurus field or the magnetic field. So this is how actually our earth, the place where we live, it looks like. Okay. This is how it actually looks. So there are millions and billions of ley lines. They are called ley lines. They are the magnetic fields. Mm-hmm. And these magnetic fields weaken when the real light comes. Okay. So when the real light comes, then the rainbow body is activated. Last time Angel was talking about the rainbow body. So this is the same thing. So we are actually in a Taurus field, and because of this Taurus field or because of this, you have all the magic tricks happening. So they're saying earth is sexy, whatever. So this is how it is. So it is a very, very complicated subject, but it is basically related to, the plasma manipulation, magnetic ley lines manipulation. So the magnetosphere is also known as Taurus field, and that is actually created using some special artifacts. It is not due to some core in the earth or anything like that. And not only that, I was telling Charles you last time also that the sun doesn't have any nuclear fusion or fission. I myself, being a science student, Me saying this is slightly controversial, but I'm telling again and again the same thing. The sun doesn't have any nuclear reactor, nuclear fusion, nothing of that. It is electrical in nature.
And I
It
agree.
is plasma in nature.
I agree.
Yes, the sun actually receives energy and then it transmits to Earth. So the source of that sun.
And just to stop there for a second about that, about the electric sun theory, there is so much more proof of an electric sun theory, of an electric sun, than there is any proof of a nuclear sun. And there's just no proof. That is a fairy tale and a wish.
Correct. Because obviously you cannot get inside the sun and check the nuclear reactor, right?
Right.
So there is no way. But there are YouTube videos which show that, many spaceships, UFOs going near sun. How is that possible? I mean, if sun is so hot and it has nuclear fusion or whatever, how can a UFO even come so close to the sun? It is such a commonsensical thing. The sun cannot be that hot. Sun is it is an emitter of light, and this light, maybe it acts like a laser or something. So we need to study more. I'm not giving any final word, but what I'm saying is our sun definitely does not run on nuclear fusion or fission. That much is sure. Temperature and the heat and all that is something which is debatable, but definitely it is not. It is more. We can definitely for sure say that it is electromagnetic in nature, and that is because of this torus field. So now what happens at the end of a age or end of a cycle? These torus fields, they weaken, and these torus fields are created by the magnetic energy. So now going back to the realms of snakes. So yes, as I was saying, snakes are everywhere. Everybody worships snakes in this realm. Everybody. These are all Indian temples, and snakes are everywhere. Everywhere. Why so much emphasis? I mean, yes, there are other gods also, right? Ancient gods. I mean, can you believe there is no temple for Indra, Zeus in India? I mean, there might be a couple of temples, but there are hundreds and millions of temples for the snakes rather than for maybe king of gods, Indra, who threw them. Obviously, they are upset with Indra because Indra or Zeus, he threw away the snakes down and they came down here in this earth, a different realm, and they created their own fiefdom. And that is why you, me, or anybody, any common human being here, they cannot be in the positions of power or position, name and fame, or anything like that. You need to have that reptilian DNA. If you have the reptilian DNA, there is a chance that you can be connected to the very, very higher. So one of the presidents who is not connected to the reptilian DNA is Donald Trump. Many people may not like him, but the fact is he is not connected to the reptilian DNA. He is connected to the bird DNA. So it's actually technically impossible for somebody not to have this reptilian DNA and be a person of importance in this realm. So I will just talk a little bit about the famous people of this particular realm. Adolf Hitler, he has his Saturn in Ashlesha. Okay, I'll come to Ashlesha. Then you have Mahatma Gandhi or MK Gandhi of India. He has his moon in Ashlesha. Okay, I will also open the horoscopes of other people briefly. So this is the horoscope of Dwayne Johnson. He is Scorpion rising with Jeshta. Jeshta means Indra, but actually it is Scorpion rising. So I was saying that Scorpio is this world. This world is the Scorpionic world or the underworld. We are in the underworld. And similarly, this is the horoscope of Kim Kardashian. She is also Scorpion rising. In fact, in my database, out of 100 or 200 celebrities, 99% of the people, the celebrities, are related to either Scorpio or they are related to Ashlesha. Now, what is Ashlesha? I will just open Ashlesha. And by the way, this is NASA's logo. Everybody is familiar with this logo. Can you see this?
Yes.
What is this? This
Not
red
yet.
thing.
Nope. Nope. I can't see it. There it is.
I'll tell you what it is. That is the forked tongue of the snake. So that's why those people who are afraid of snakes, or those who are having some phobia of snakes, they can discontinue this session. They can opt out of this session, because this is a slightly distressing session in terms of exposing the truth of this realm. Every Disney movie, every part of the entertainment has snakes. So for example, I was just opening that thing. Okay, I will just open. So this is, of course, everybody knows this. I have also already spoken about this, the three brains. So last year, Taylor Swift, in fact, every song of Taylor Swift, it is there. But anyway, I'm just showing you so that, people are aware of these things. So this is the first shot of the song, Me. And poor Taylor Swift doesn't like being called a snake.
No.
Yeah, she doesn't like being called a snake, but she is surrounded by snakes. She's so poor. Poorest of the poor. And then you have Lady Gaga, who is again very famous. Can you see this, Charles? Lady Gaga and her egg. Many people keep thinking, why this Lady Gaga, why this Madonna, why Taylor Swift, why they come with these eggs and all that, or they have snakes in their songs. I hope now people are getting it. So whether it is insects, which is called as kita in Sanskrit or Hindu, or whether it is the snakes, or whether it is the scorpions, whether it is the different, this 4-legged, 8-legged, 16-legged creatures, they are masters of this realm. You remember this lady, folks?
Yes.
Why do they have this? In entertainment. Why? People don't ask why.
No, they don't.
I'm giving you all today. I'm giving you all the answers today. This realm is controlled, manipulated, hosted by viruses, parasites, mantises, snakes. So snakes are the primary, you can say, in the hierarchy, and then you have these other creatures. So they are the ones who are actually controlling this world. But at the same time, we should not be very depressed, because as I said earlier also, that this is an opportunity for people, for human souls or God souls, or whichever soul you have. When you come to this realm called Patala or Nagaloka, what you are doing, you're purging your things. So that is why I keep telling, please keep doing your affirmations. Please don't get into the sucked into the drama of the Hollywood or the world, what is happening now. What George Headley died the other day, we all had hours and hours of discussion. The rioting is happening, or the looting is happening. Most of the things are staged, most of the things are controlled, but there are far bigger powers who are behind it, and they are the reptilians. They are the ones who are controlling this realm, and we are actually in this human body, we are much powerless. I mean, we may have power through our visualization, our mind, but in terms of brute physical strength, we are no match to them.
None. No.
That is why I keep telling, that's why I keep telling, please don't invest in their dramas. you see how it happens, Charles, is that how the mind programming happens is some incident happens in US, for example, or some incident happens in UK, then immediately it is flooded in the news channels, it is flooded in the newspapers, and then we all our mind it goes into that, we start discussing that, we start feeding into the energy of the matrix. That is what they want. If we want,
and I'll make this quick point before I drop off. Last night I went out
sure, Charles,
for with friends here in town, and they asked me about about the George Floyd, what's going on in your country, and please tell us what's going on. And as I explained to them, this is a manufactured event by a group called Antifa and Black Lives Matter, and they took a horrible accident from a person that was resisting arrest, and they just went off on me. All of these people that know nothing about America or politics were lecturing me about how racist the country is. And this is a country of Spain, which, I mean, they are very, very, very vocal about how they feel about other races, and they don't mind saying it. But with no fact and no theory, they were able to denounce me, and that was just shocking to me. That was just absolutely shocking. So with that, Partha, I am going to drop off. The whole thing is yours. I'll be monitoring, of course. And so whenever you disconnect from the Zoom, I'll see that you've disconnected, and but the chat will stay open. Actually, after you disconnect from the Zoom, I'm going to close this stream and then open another one for the chat. Okay. So
okay, no problem.
Everybody watching, just so that once Partha drops off of the Zoom, then we're going to end this live stream and then open up a chat stream. All right, Partha, the show is yours.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you for setting the tone. So yes, so as I was saying, so mainly the Nagas and mantises and this creatures actually inhabit this realm, and they are ones who are in the entertainment. They are the ones who are controlling this world. So obviously they are everywhere and they are everything. So I will just open few sites where this is mentioned. I have already shown how in Dendera temple in Egypt, whether it is Indian temples and even South American temples, the snakes are worshipped and venerated. Similar kind of prayers are not that much for the ancient gods like Poseidon or Indra or Zeus or Thor. If they are gods, then why they are not worshipped that much, and why snakes? The reason being, we are not on the earth, we are on a earth, and this earth is the 14th bottommost realm of the world. It is the west world, it is under waters. So that is why in Bible it is mentioned that there are waters above and waters below. And this is our brain. This is again from mainstream science only. So this is not something new. As I said in one of my previous videos also, this part of the brain is called the reptilian complex. So this makes you, fear things, and it is actually embedded through genetic manipulation. So a lot of people who may not be aware of David Icke, you can just go to his videos. I think he has been banned by YouTube. You can go to his site and on crystal links and all that, and you can read about that stuff. So I will not go very deep into that. So now I'll come briefly to this site called ogtellus.wordpress.com. He's also a famous YouTuber. You can watch his videos, but actually he mumbles a lot. He was in, it seems, one of the underground bases. So this is there in the Q map. So let me open a Q map for a second. By the way, Q map, a lot of stuff actually, lot of stuff actually is mind programming. So we have to be, we have to use our discernment. Okay, I seem to have closed the Q map, but I will open again. So just give me a second. Okay, so I had copy pasted in the two sons video only, I think. No, it's not there, but let me just get that for you. Just give me a second. So here we go. So this is the Q map. So I'll zoom in a bit. So this is slightly negative part of the Q map, which it talks about the secret space program, the Black Project, Solar Warden. As you can see, if you go to the top left corner, you can see ancient artificial intelligence, the great solar flash. You can also see these things. You can see that it talks about the Draco and Reptilian Alliance, the Dark Fleet, UFOs and all that. So they are basically interdimensionals, reptilian tankers, mind control and all that. So as I say, there are no planets, there are dimensions. So we have 7 below worlds, then 7 above worlds. So if you are seeing some UFOs, they're coming through the portals from the sky. It's not that they're coming from some other planet. Okay, so this is all mentioned in this. It is mentioned that reptilians are found with virulent nanite AI, and then there are AI, artificial intelligent prophet species. AI has originated from other things. It has mysterious origins. Okay, reptilians are subservient to the AI, and they will be wiped out during great solar flash. So I have my own doubts about that, whether great solar flash can actually kill the reptilians, simply because reptilians are immortal as per the original story of the Vedic times. So going back to the internet, so most of the thing which you see in QMap actually is coming from this guy called Octellus. So I will not go very deep, but I can simply tell you that this is the website. You can go through this website. He says that website contains information that can be shocking and stressing, especially to those who are recovering from traumatic experiences of mind control and all. And he actually talks about lot of stuff. And this stuff, whether it is the DNA activation, 0 point field technology, soul consciousness transfer, immortality, trauma-based mind control, genetic engineering, DNA activation. So some 50 to 60% of the Q map comes from this guy. Actually, his name is Octellus. So I'm showing you, pointing you towards the source itself. So he talks about the holographic illusion. So for example, the sky you see, and many things that you see in the sky, they are holographic. And many people who die, they come back, in the sense that shown in front of your eyes, and you think that, oh, these people are dead, why am I seeing them? This is because of something called as hologram. So Microsoft has come with this technology called HoloLens. I can't show any YouTube videos because of copyright things, so that's why I keep showing the Google images. So this is the one. So when you wear these glasses, you can see the holographic realities, like mixed reality, or holographic augmented reality, virtual reality. By the way, I am not connected to any Illuminati or anybody or any of these reptilians, because if I was, I would be really a famous guy, not your everyday man doing his job. Okay, so these things, how do these technologies are released, how 0 point is released, or how these technologies are released? Because they are already existing. In fact, some of these technologies are 50 years old. They're slowly being released in the name of gadgets and all. In fact, doctors are using these technologies to perform surgeries. So all this holographic overlay is because the reptilians are controlling this reality. They are masters of deception. They're masters of creating illusions. So as I was saying, so he talks about holographic death reality. So as I was saying, many people like Adolf Hitler, MK Gandhi, they all have this Ashlesha. So what is Ashlesha? Ashlesha is the star or constellation called Hydra, and it is the star of the snakes. The power of this star is to inflict poison and destroy the victim. It is a symbol coiled serpent, circle wheel. The deities is called as Sarpa or serpent or Nagas, deified serpents, deities of wisdom and underworld. So where are we? We are in the Scorpio or the underworld. We are not on the earth. So let us stop using the word earth. Instead, we can start using the right word. The right word is Nagaloka or Patal or the underworld. If you are from the West, you can say. So why they are always into this, all these things. You can see these words. Hypnotic eyes attract the people. So you may think, oh, they have studied in Wharton and Harvard, or they have worked very hard to come up in life and all that. And it is not a wild conspiracy. It is not a wild conspiracy at all. They are shapeshifters. They are also called as shapeshifters. I hope you guys are able to hear me. Can you please confirm in chat? I'm looking at the chat just to confirm if you're able to hear me all right. Okay, fine. Good. So yes, so as I was saying, if you can please refer to Octellus website. So I'm closing this website. You can please simply note it down. There's tons of information. I can't go through all this information. It's about Antarctic bases in Antarctica, the My Labs, and a lot of secret space. So, but one thing I want to tell you is that when you go through his material, don't take everything as a fact or truth. Take it with a pinch of salt. So, do you think Adolf Hitler or Gandhi, they were so famous just like that? No, they were because they had this Ashlesha or Naga. There is a famous conspiracy theory that Obama is actually the ancient pharaoh. And what do these pharaohs wear on their head? Snakes. This world is as real as it can be, but at the same time, a lot of things in this world are done using magic. It's called magic realism or holograms, a lot of things. So they are all the ancient people only. So what happens whenever there is a solar flash, they go to underground bases, they come out, they continue to control because they are immortals. So you can see. So Obama is that. Okay. So it's not that, I'm jealous of Mahatma Gandhi or Obama or Kim Kardashian. Okay. I am just stating the facts as they are. I'm showing you the direct connection to the serpents in their horoscope also. So Ashlesha, I showed you. So the moon itself is in Ashlesha for Gandhi. And Ashlesha is, as I showed you, it is related. So now this is one article which I was telling you slightly earlier, is ruling in the genes. So this is an article which came in a mainstream newspaper, Daily Mail. Okay, this came 5th August 2012. So what is mentioned? All presidents bar one are directly descended from a medieval English king. So this girl, she actually created the family tree. And what is this medieval? Who is this medieval English king? King John. And who is King John? Again, these are kings who actually were the original or ancient Babylonian kings, Sumerian kings, Egyptian kings. So the name London itself is actually Babylon. Babylon. So from the Babylon, you have lawn, and lawn actually is the root word for London. So what you see in Bible revelations that Babylon will fall or something, that is related to London, because London is the seat of the world. And that's why you see a lot of crop circles, these things are seen in generally in UK only, because that is kind of a gravity or the central place. Some of these crop circles are depicting serpents, zodiac and all that. They can be created only using magic. I mean, this kind of design, how can it be made within a night? So I'm closing this. So the horoscopes also I had shown. So let me go to some other material. So torus fields also I had covered. I have shown direct link of NASA to the snakes. Okay, so now little bit about the snakes. So who are Nagas? So the Nagas are everywhere. So I can read this paragraph for you. The Nagas virtually almost everywhere, below the ground, water, the sea, in the lakes and springs, on the mountains, on the trees, in the burrows, and even in the skies. Please see. So that means many of the things which you see in the sky are created by Nagas, or the controllers of this realm. Power, fear, and deference. Okay. The forked tongue. I can close this. I've shown this already. And if you see most of the people like Kim Kardashian, see whether their eyes or whether their how they look like and all, it's like very much like reptiles. They look like reptilians. They also adore the reptilians. I have already spoken about that Lady Gaga thing. So this is that western direction, underworld ruled by Varuna, because Varuna was the original god. So I'll just show you Varuna. See, he is sitting on a, on a crocodile kind of thing. Okay, so he was the original god of the sky. Later also with the seas. Why seas? Because he was thrown out of the heavens. He sits on a crocodile. Where does crocodile live? It lives in waters. And he was one of the dragons. He was very just and kind, but Indra manipulated the situation and he took control of the thing. So that's why I released those affirmations of forgiving the ancestors, seeking forgiveness from the ancestors. Because yes, while the snakes are controlling this realm, we should not forget that they were also wronged, or they were not given justice in certain situations. So this is a temporary holding ground for the souls to come and experience things, release their baggages, mental baggages, emotional baggages, and all that. And Varuna is the controller of this realm or the western direction. This is actually the description of the real earth. So I will read little bit later. This is also description of the New Jerusalem. I'll read little later. So let me finish with the Nagas or the snakes, and then I'll go there. I hope I have covered almost everything related to the snakes. So yeah, so as I was saying, temple of Dandera in Egypt. So you can see a lot of snakes and cobras. So it is, I mean, beyond doubt, it is established, whether it is Egypt, India, America, everywhere, snakes, serpents. They are the ones who are controlling this realm. Okay, having said this, now I will slowly, go to mythology, and then I'll come to the shape of the earth or the other realms. So as per this ancient mythological story, what actually happened was snakes have always been, they are always in war. So for example, when one of the snakes, Takshaka, he killed the ancient king Parikshit, what happened was his son, he conducted a fire ritual. And in the fire ritual, he took a vow that all the snakes of the universe die in that fire. So as you can see here, they conducted this ritual where all the snakes were forced like magnets into this fire, and they were getting killed. Then there was a small boy called Astika who came and stopped that ritual. And that's how the snakes survived. Otherwise, they wouldn't have survived even that. Please don't say in your mind, oh, it should have been a good riddance. Because see, I mean, they have always, there are always two sides of the coin. So while we know that, this world has a lot of torture, trauma, a lot of things, scorpionic world, but at the same time, they are the controllers of this world. And they were pushed out from heavens and even from earth. So probably they have every right to do whatever they want to do. So the snake sacrifice of Janmajaya and Astika, a small boy, he tries to stop it. So this is how ancient it goes as per the mythology. And of course, we know dragon, even China adores the dragon. The corona started from China, right? So he is Takshaka. So using magic and a lot of things, the skies, they can manipulate the skies basically. That's why if you go by science, observations, data and all that, sometimes you may go wrong, because if you see a comet today here, it won't be there tomorrow. If you see one star here, it won't be there tomorrow. Certain things, keep changing, because they can create any kind of effect using magic. And so regarding this George thing, what is happening is actually George, he was killed, George Headley the other day, and everybody, in US, a lot of things, negative things are happening. So instead of focusing on that, somebody actually said that, it is probably a reminder of Saint George and the dragon. So this story that Saint George, actually he slayed the dragon. And yesterday Amul ad came, which is also something like that. Can you see this? So somebody forwarded me this in my WhatsApp group. What is mentioned here? Exit the dragon. Why? Because in India, apps like TikTok and all, there is now a campaign going on in India that we should not use the Chinese apps like TikTok. So that is why this ad has come. Exit the dragon. So what does he show? We are coming out of the mouth or the belly of the dragon. So the original god Indra was Zeus, he killed a dragon. So I can show that. So as per this is again ancient story. Vritra is a Vedic serpent or dragon, the personification of drought. Not personification, he was really a dragon. So what Indra or Zeus did was he went inside his belly, fought with him, and he came out. So same things tend to get repeated. So nothing is new under the sun. So for example, now this Saint George and the dragon is similar to this story, where Indra actually, and also a baby elephant was killed recently in India. This is a huge news. Killing of elephant with explosive laden fruit causes outrage in India. So can you link this? So while this creates a lot of turmoil in my mind and a lot of sadness and grief, but at the same time, these are things like which we cannot just ignore as passing events. So death of pregnant elephant. See again pregnant because in belly. Zeus went inside the belly of the dragon and killed him. Okay, Saint George. So in India, this is happening, while in the West, it is George Headley, and so that is the holographic illusion. So I'll take a small break and come back in 5 minutes.